Once again, it's me at Nice Suit, joined here this time around with someone different. It's Mirko. Mirko, how we doing, man?
Hey, doing great, man. Again, like LaFell said, we're in for a long day. And it starts here, Mr. Nice Suit LaFell.
You gonna pull the red?
I'm gonna pull the red bar.
Hey, we're jumping to the game, ladies and gentlemen. A crucial match for all the teams right now to move on forward. The losers will have to bow out of MWI 2025 here. Once again, we get a preview of this matchup that we saw just a couple days ago where Navi MY swept GG. We'll see if the fates can change here in game number 1 of this best of 3. Now, real quick, I would say, we have to look at the draft and Sha chunked down a little bit, but like Fasha Bunny said, this is one of her favorite heroes to be picked, and it's actually played really well for a lot of the teams here.
Dude, I mean, look at the compositions. I really like the Hilda. The Hilda pick, the Khalid pick, amazing last picks from Navi Malaysia. But as LaFell said as well, Gaimin Gladiators just really need a frontliner. I think the Hylos fits in so well here. Just knowing the fact that Navi, the way that they want to enter towards the backline or dive towards the backline is kind of very honest, right? Having someone like the Hylos to peel is great. Good cover. Then from the passive alone, Nicolette jumps in with a puncture and a Thorn Rose goes really for Wanderer and actually secures it for the team, as Ashley should be able to escape or to use Revitalize. Redmond goes back in, finds first blood in enemy jungle. Nicolette unable to get a trade back, knows how tanky the Hilda is.
This is why you like the Hilda, This is why a lot of people like the Hilda, man. I mean, the damage. Okay, she's got the quicksand guard. She's going to be fine. But that's the thing, you're kind of surprised, and I feel like we've seen this a couple times already for MWI, is that kind of burst, but then you get the concussive blast as we take a look at the emblems here too. There's a lot of concussive blasts actually coming out from Navi MY, man. Good tankiness that this lineup also provides, and that's something that Gaimin Gladiators is going to want to watch out for here.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like is the fact that the Hilda is placed on roam. I feel like the Hilda is a better matchup up against the CC, as the Khalid can constantly just get pressure in the mid lane. But they swapped it up, Khalid in the XP. It will give them a bit more pressure, especially Turtle 1, just with the Raging Sandstorm. Rina opening it up, Sayori in the bush, recalling. GG, just delay the turtle take.
Just gonna delay it out. That Revitalize is almost available from Ashley, so she might want to wait, but
great Raging Sandstorm. Arya able to go for the vengeance already. Pops in the curtain call, locks him down. Sha will be taken down. Panda with the rotation earlier here as Redmond gets melted down. Nicolette picks up the kill, and this should be a free neutral objective to Gaimin Gladiators.
Oh, the work that they just kind of put out there. I mean, Ashley was quite low, and I was saying she didn't have the Revitalize. She didn't even need to use it. She didn't have the level 4, but a good opportunity to get that stun off and then lock down the right target, and that was Sha. So an objective, a little bit of gold lead built up now to 4 Gaimin Gladiators to work through. And I think now when you see the Hylos, like Hylos in specific occasions, like you need that glorious pathway. You need to most likely have even the Revitalize and some of these skirmishes here. And this is also, I would say, for Ashley specifically, a very comfort pick. Like this is one of her picks for the roam.
Absolutely.
Top.
Up top, escaping the gank over to Remen. Good Detonata. Phantom Execution to the back as well. Fafao able to cut away. Rita pops in the shield unity. Ashley instantly with Revitalize to react to it. And a disengage from Navi Malaysia. And Naisu, I gotta say, man, I gotta give props over to Midnight because I really like the CC pick as well. First pick, it's kind of risky, In a world where coaches get a lot of hate for random first picks, I love the CC pick right as he saw the Baksha.
The CC has been doing great so far. Actually, hold on. Okay, they're not going to commit to this, but that's the thing. I mean, you can actually be quite aggressive on a CC. You have, especially when you have an Vengeance available, especially in the sense of this lineup that Navi MY went with here. So something they want to work with, but I would say I think even the Earthils right now are at the top, I would say, at least statistically. Earthil just tends to be quite a menace, especially later on in the game. So,
assassination in the mid lane. Hani taken down. Nicolette finds the kill, instantly rotates back up top.
They're finding great pickoffs. Just with the fact that they have a Hylos here. You see that? You see what Sha just picked up?
Yeah.
Is that what we would expect? From a Khalid?
Personally, no. That's gonna be the sundown. Remen, gun down. Panda not giving the kill. It's Nicolette will be on a killing spree now. But yeah, I think it's an odd choice to go for. But I'm guessing it's because she's up against a CC. She's going to get shredded anyways, right, if she builds tanky.
So just go for it, I guess. Try to get that damage off if you can. There's going to be a trade here. So objective, second turtle, now in the hands of GG. Looking to take some more resources as well. So there was a response. They might at least get an objective for Navi MWI down at bot once Shaw is able to push in that turret. But I gotta say, man, they're trying their best to respond to what GG's thrown at them, and really it's just, they're kind of locked in, I would say. This is a very different GG than what we saw in their previous matchup against Navi MWI.
Yeah, it was a stomp the first time they met. Navi MWI dominated through, I would say, both games, right?
13
it was
minutes or something like that.
Very short games in the grand scheme of things, especially considering how good Gaimin Gladiators are now. 2,000 gold lead. And I really think it's because they finally found the solution to the problem, you know? Some of them were struggling without their comfort picks. Now, Phantom Execution, Nicolette knows that Shah has gone for damage, so wanted to pressure Arena, zoned away, and back to the point. Enabling your players with really good picks, with comfort picks. The Granger, we saw Panda do so well yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to be a sense too. Maybe it's a little bit of the family buff that we got to see during the panel segment where, again, here for the support for Arya, but, you know, LaFell was right. A lot of people are going to have their eyes on this matchup specifically. Nicolette kind of styling right now too, very confident on this landslide. So another turret's going to fall. They got more space to work with. They're in good position to set up for this next turtle coming up too. Arya on the hunt, but won't catch Fafa. So this is the thing, man. If we look at Navi MWI, how do they stop this from getting it too out of hand? 3,000 gold isn't anything too crazy at this point. I would say even in the sense that with this lineup, they should still be relatively okay to contest, even later on with that first Lord when it does come up. But the biggest thing right now is just kind of not getting picked off. And I would say one of the biggest stuns that's happening here, the biggest crowd controls that's being utilized is, again, this Hylos. Not only the stun that comes with it, but the Glorious Pathway. When that's dropped down, it's great initiation, but it's also good to peel for the entire team, when you think about it. So they get control around this. This is the last turtle. They got control right now. We'll see if Navi MWI wants to fight.
Looks like they do. Shield unity to the back. Panda still able to go away. Raging Sandstorm not landing in the back. Nicolette able to win out that red tree battle. Now goes into the back as Fafao continues to push. We'll be able to find one, but Panda gets two big stacks on the Sky Piercer.
That was an initiation that they thought the risk was worth it, but Navi MWI loses two, and then Panda picking up a couple kills, plus she gets the Malefic Roar now. So, you know, on this Granger, like we've seen, that scaling is going to be really good. We're going to look at the instant replay here. Yikes. This is, they go for the shot jumps in. Yeah, she goes in with a Raging Sandstorm, mind you, again, to set things up, but you see the Glorious Pathway. It's so good to just kind of cut off crucial points of the team fights. So again, good utilization of the toolkits here from GG.
That's why I mentioned early on, right? When we were talking about the drafts, Hilda Khalid, I'd say really good picks, but then the Hylos last pick really covered all of Gaimin Gladiators' weak spots. That's the ultimate from the... Oh, how did he take it down on the side there? Arya tying them up now as Nicolette jumps in with the puncture. Actually misses it out, but the Thorn Rose plus Sayori's damage will be enough as Panda once again stacks two more up on that Sky Piercer.
GG is out with vengeance, man. They're locked in. Everything is working out for them, and you know, even under a turret, how do you play against that? So looking at the items, you're gonna see there needs to be a lot of space covered here, especially for Fafao. She's very behind in terms of Panda, and like you said, those stacks are building up.
Arya got the orange buff, nice too. And this is, I would say, rare. We don't get to see this a lot, right? The fact that the Baksha is so far behind, but this is one of the biggest weaknesses for the Baksha. We've just seen Baksha terrorize early game and win out most early games. That's why we haven't seen this side of Baksha. But if you lose out in the early game, first few turtles, especially against a Lancelot, and your jungle starts getting invaded, this is the reality of the utility jungles. Panda gonna be caught by the finish from the curtain call. It's right there to punish with the Glorious Pathway. Man, tied up and slowed down. What do?
You don't do anything. You can't even fly away with the wings by wings from that. And as you mentioned, you know, the gap continues to build up. Sayori, take some hits. Oh, is Raymond gonna go for this? Okay. She saw the low health bar and she's like, I can go and get the power of nature off here, but still The turret's going to be worked on. Tier 2 in the mid lane will fall, and Lord is next on the objective list here as GG makes their way up. And Navi MWI is just struggling to find a moment. And like you mentioned, Miracle, a big part of that is Rina here. She's so behind. What can you do? You don't want to box it. You're not really, you have to almost, in a sense, rely on the team at this point. Baksha is most likely just a distraction, or you're going to just try to find a moment where you can take the shots and hope that Fafao can pop off. She picks up a Berserker's Fury right now. So maybe, and if Hani quits getting destroyed, because Hani's out of the picture, and you lose a Farsa this early on in the fight, that feathered airstrike damage is gone. So you miss a big piece of the puzzle of your damage profile.
Yeah. Misplaced strong picks, I would say, coming in from Navi Malaysia. Again, I think for me, the biggest point of criticism would be the fact that they picked up the Hilda Khalid, but they made the Hilda roam. I thought the Khalid would have been, again, roam, as Hilda could still stand her ground up against the CC. But now, it's a big Lord in the mid lane. Answer with a feather airstrike, instantly canceled out. Nicolette in the back with a Thorn Rose. Oh, Winter Crown away from the phantom execution as Nicolette gets away. But it was only a diversion for the rest of the team to siege down below. Base turret down below taken out. GG. Looking for more as they rotate up top. That's Natus landing 2 onto Fafao, taking her to half HP as Panda continues to throw out these shots. Mid lane base turret next. Still land it? Big waves in the mid lane. But Navi Malaysia, they'll hold on, but GG will get 3.
Gonna get 3. Turret's gonna fall. It's exposed. Do they go for the fight?
Rina, shield unity, whoa! Walks up and instantly just gets bursted down by Panda. Going for the shots again, the curtain call as Arya locks her down. But Nicolette stays on the prize there, looking for the end. Gets the kill before the rest of the team backs away. There was literally one HP on a cannon minion to ensure that they got the crystal.
What a game, what a statement. You can see the ladies here happy about that performance. They did it faster than they lost to Navi MWI earlier a couple of days ago. Just an amazing performance. They were locked in here, man.
Took a while for them to download Navi MY, we would say, right? 2 games.
Yeah.
And then, even for Title Legends, they had to go through 1 game loss, coming back from that reverse sweeping TLG, and how they find themselves in their element. They know what to do. The traps look good. The execution might look a bit better.
Yeah.
This is the GG we were expecting.
This is the GG, yeah. And it's, I don't know, man. It just seems like maybe the communication is
those
better
arguments
here.
worked.
Yeah, it's crazy. Let's go ahead and throw it over to the studio to see what they have to say about Game 1.
Well, first of all, Sairi look absolutely happy for that one. And the thing is, now it's not history repeating itself, because now we can actually see GG, Gaming Gladiators, actually taking game number 1 off of Navi MY. And I gotta say, I actually agree with our casters, a little bit of a mismatch here, because Box is an amazing hero, but it's not a Rina hero, and then having the Khalid on the EXP, and it does feel a little bit forced to use that Blade of Heptases. A lot of mismatches here, Fasha.
Agree, definitely. At the first place, when I saw they picked up the Roma or Khalid as well as Hilda, we expected, even what we have heard from the cast itself, if, for example, Khalid was being put out as a Roma and Hilda as the XP, probably it could have been having a little bit more fun time compared to what we see so far. Now, Team Navi MY has just been punished from one place to another place.
Yeah, and it's really evident that for the side of Gaming Gladiators, they changed things up a bit in terms of the rotation. We could see Nicolette at the EXP lane, and there's an early 4-1 rotation actually for Gaming Gladiator, hence the 3.3k gold lead at some parts of our game. And we could see actually that for Gaming Gladiators, even the emblem set is meant to just deal damage against Navi MY.
And I kind of feel like they understand the movements coming in from Navi MY, more like their habits, because they know what kind of gold laner Fafao is, which is she wants to get the gold, she wants to get the minions. So Panda used that opportunity and actually rotated for the first turtle, and starting from there, they hold the map.
Yeah, that's true. And not just holding the area for Fafao, I think also for Gaming Gladiators, what really made the difference is that they always get a hold of that purple buff area onto the side of Navi MY. Hence, there is somehow a doubts from Arena and the rest of the team, wherein are they going to initiate the team fight? Are we to do trades? And the Gaming Gladiators, I think we could see that later on in the highlights, wherein they are to invade the purple buff. They saw that Rina wasn't there, so they let go of the purple buff, went to the turtle, and there was no trade actually for Navi MY.
I think this is it, where the Raging Storm was trying to go into the front and they were going into at least invade the front line of Team Gaming Gladiators. There was not much of a follow-up. There was a little bit miscommunication coming in, even though, yes, Fafao did manage to get a trade, but it was not enough because at the end of it all, not only they were able to get away with the turtle, they were able to steal 2 lives of Navi MY.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I only saw one Raging Sandstorm actually hitting, and that was in the base. And at that point, you just don't have enough damage. If it hit during that turtle fight, maybe it would have been different.
Yeah, and I think that was also the team fight wherein we saw Gaming Gladiators just let go of the purple buff. It was 5 seconds, I think. 3 to 5 seconds wherein GG was just at the purple buff, and then they knew, so it means that there's a change, or maybe they know how to assess what is best in terms of the current situation. So that's what I love about the performance of Gaming Gladiators during that game, and I kind of feel like for Navi MY, they're just really reacting onto what GG was doing all throughout game number 1.
So it really does look like Gaming Gladiators, they have very good control over the map as well as very good decision making. So Navi MY, what are we looking at the changes coming in for game number 2?
I mean, drafting-wise, probably just the positioning. Hero-wise, there has never a problem. Just the roles of how they want to actually go in right after the second match. And the fact is, I feel there were certain times that we even saw how the Farsa been used, the Feather Airstrike, opening up too much and to a point that she was in the front line. And Team Gaimin ready to say, like, this is like an invitation for us to just shut you down, honey.
Yeah, and now we got to look at the head-to-head here. I believe we're going to be looking at the goal laners. We're going to be looking at Fafao going up against Panda. And one of the reasons why we got to look at is not only does Panda had a good game, but Fafao actually had the counter matchup. She got the Irithel going into the Granger, and yet Panda had an amazing game.
I mean, we already seen yesterday where Panda was also using Granger as well, and despite there was a back and forth, I think Gaming Gladiators say that it doesn't even matter if you have a counter for Granger.
Counter
Schmounder, I still be able to do it because Panda had the highest, if I'm not mistaken, still dominated that game with 1049 GPM. That shows how much she is confident with the Granger, no matter what counter you give it to her.
I think the thing that made her very confident on that game is the formation also of the hero composition of Gaming Gladiators. I mean, they have the high loss. They even have Sayori to actually stop the players of Navi MY. So Panda was just enjoying the game. You have 503, you have the Sky Piercer. By the way, even Hani was forced at around 9 minutes to build the Winter Truncheon. It just means that majority of the players of Gaming Gladiators are just diving, specifically Nicolette, by the way. So you have the threat from an assassin jungler that could actually puncture at the back line. And for Panda, you're just doing the Rhapsodies, even the Death Sonatas. So it was masterful draft for Gaming Gladiators, and we could see, and for this statistics, that we have the highest damage per minute with the Sayori. So it's just supplementary support as to Panda's highest gold per minute. So add that items that Panda has, plus the burst damage that Sayori has, and even those assists from Ashley.
Yeah, we can see that Raimundo actually took a lot of damage, but again, she took a lot of damage, but there was no dishing out. And I feel like this is just fundamentally, you're not utilizing your win condition, your draft, because we talked about this during the draft, where looking at the what Navi MY actually had, they had the opportunity to move around the map very, very fast. But they just couldn't do that, right? I don't see a lot of rotations. Partly is because we saw the highest damage did come from Sayori. And I did see Sayori actually poking out Honey quite a lot, to the point where she can't go to the side lane. She has to go back to base.
Yeah, I think also one of the many reasons why it was effective for Gaming Gladiators, or why Navi MY was confused, because even the Khalid was forced to just stay on the lane. I mean, if you're up against a Hylos and that type of hero composition from GG, it is expected that Khalid or Sha will be up front. But I think there was a moment in our game that she was the one doing the split push, and it's not advisable to have a Khalid to do that. You want a Fafao to actually do that.
Agree, because you want to be fast. You don't want the moment when you're trying to go into push, people can actually go in. Your opponent will be able to catch you on your action and grab you straight away in that moment. But at the same time, we do have to give so much credit credit to Gaming Gladiators. Not just the map control, it's the fact that the invasion that they've done to a point that Team Navi MY, they couldn't even go out of their own way to make sure that they have be able to push through, because again, once you are being controlled by your own opponent, you can't do anything out of it.
Yeah, they're just really roaming around the map really fast. All areas are being covered. So Navi MY, it's as if they're restricted in their own farming area that they had to share on the resources that are only available to them. And Gaming Gladiators, that's the moment we're in. They're able to spike up their gold, have the snowball, and just they just did it continuously. So it's as if you are Navi MY, I can't breathe. Let me breathe just for a second.
And now we have a quote coming in from Gaming Gladiators, coming in from Ashley. This time, I truly believe we have a stronger and more consistent roster. I really want to prove to the world that NA shouldn't be taken for granted. I want to put our region back in the spotlight. And winning this one can definitely put them there. And here's the thing, I really feel like hearing the conversation between the both of you, it's really about pushing Navi MY out of their comfort zone, right? Because even on the heroes, I kind of feel like they're not really comfortable there. So maybe that's where Navi MY, they really have to start to get some control back into the game. Don't let GG take everything from them.
Agree, definitely. I think the fact that they've been read from all of their opponents, especially from yesterday as well, the fact that they always try to go in for the dive composition first of all, but then everyone been saying like, now we can definitely do an anti-dive composition back to you, Navi MY. So this is a thing that Navi had to figure out, like, how do you actually be able to counter the counter attacks back? Because the fact is now the teams are having a little bit of struggle to push through whenever there's somebody giving back the energy to them.
Yeah, agree. I believe that for Navi MY, they somehow played inside a GG's game.
Yeah, exactly.
It was very evident that for GG they really gave up the Farsa, right?
Yeah.
So they have to be mindful of those heroes. Are they really giving us this, or maybe they are prepared for this hero? So for GG, it's working well the way they draft. For Navi MY, they just have to make sure that all areas are going to be covered if in case they get the heroes that are given to them by GG.
I kind of feel like, let's start with simple stuff. Let's start first thing. Give Rina an assassin, because I don't know about you guys, she did not look comfortable on that Baxia.
Yep. Agree, definitely. I think that somehow when we've seen how she popped off with the Lancelot, it was much on her own turf, and the fact that she was definitely on a roll whenever she has an assassin in her hands. So possibly when they wanted to actually have so much sustain in the team, it ended up not going in their favor. So there's a possibility draft-wise could be another hero that could be pulled out for her as well. And the fact that maybe with this having into their mind, they can actually do a better rotation.
Yeah, if that's the case, then for GG, I expect that they will not ban the YSS, but have Navi MY do that, and they will pick a Lancelot again, because that was the case for game number 1. Because the last time they met, it was all a Lancelot for Rina, but when they played against Team Liquid, they played great with the YSS. So,
Yeah,
so
they banned it out.
They are the ones to ban it out. I believe if that's the case, then GG will go again for the Lancelot, or maybe even have another hero that is on the sustain, which is the Fredrin.
I mean, looking back at the NA qualifiers, because Nicolette is an amazing jungler, one of her highlights that I saw during that time was that Hayabusa. So that's also part of the equation in terms of heroes that they can pick off. So looking at Navi, very interestingly here, they really respect Sayori on this Zetienne. So I really want to see if there's any priority coming in mid, because both the Kimi as well as the Farsa are still open. And for Navi MY, an additional Selena as well.
I mean, we did saw how crazy Zetien's been poking off away all the rotation that was done by Navi, and those are the things that is crucial for the movement of Navi MY itself. So they definitely want to make sure that it is a respected band that they want to be aware of coming into the second match. But then again, we do see that it seems that Farsa and Kimi will still be open up as they put out Gato Kacha instead as the ban priority.
They are just limiting the options of Gaming Gladiators, because there's a high chance they pull off Zetian and Gatot both at the same lineup. So Navi MY did the research about that. So GG, you have open heroes. Kimi, although Kimi isn't really working well.
Yeah,
this time,
16% win rate. That's insane. Honestly, there is a lot open. Kalia's open, even though we don't see a lot of teams prioritize it overall. It's too early, but some teams.
Badang.
I feel like Farsa is an okay one to open with, but it looks like they are gonna get that Kimi. And I feel like Navi MY, they predicted this because they wanted that Farsa by banning out that Zetian, but right now they don't even have to take it because they gotta assume that this Kimi is going mid, so maybe they will take Farsa on red 3.
Farsa on red. Oh, red team. Okay, I thought Farsa on red 3. I didn't hear it right.
So I'm colorblind and you just have hearing problems. So, we're good. We have our own
Best
issues.
friends forever. That's how it is.
Besties.
But then again, but they are going to actually pick up the Farsa straight away with the Badang. So definitely a really good response coming in from Navi MR. I mean, if you have already the opportunity, why not just take it? A really good fizz crack and fizz break to actually have a really good setup for themselves. And maybe with this better combination, Navi MY will have the opportunity to give that push, the aggressiveness that we have been losing seen so far from these 2 days.
Assassins hate Badang, but I kind of feel like Lancelot's still okay.
Yeah, Lancelot and Arlott could be one, but for green, okay. So, I think this is the same draft that I had.
Just to know, Arlott is one of Arya's favorite heroes. She even uses it in Rome.
Okay. By the way, this is the same lineup that Gaming Gladiators had when they first met July 15. So they have.
Ooh, okay.
So we have Kimi, Arlott, and Fredrin. I'm not sure if they will go with the Irithel and Kalea because those heroes are still open. If Navi MY will give it to them. So Farsa and Badang, they can get the Lancelot now.
I kind of feel like Granger is a good pick as well, and then just ban every other marksman. Like I kind of feel like Panda was one of the reasons why they lost.
I mean, this is also
They
a
pick up
repeat.
Lancelot, yeah.
Yeah, because the repeat of what we see between the TLG with GG, right? The fact that they had the Arlott Fredrin combo as well as the Granger. I like the fact that you actually noted about the Granger. They could have actually pick up, steal away the Granger so that they won't give so much leeway to the side of Gaming Gladiators because that was the reason why they had so much potential to fight off with TLG yesterday.
You know what? Looking at the draft, there's a high chance that Navi MY will go Harith again. Since you have heroes that are more on the melee side from the side of GG, so it's gonna be hard to go for that energy eruption and even the final slash. So we ban out the Minotaur as anti-crowd control. Kaleo could be an option for them to ban out. Even the no, I'm thinking about the Jushin, but you already have the Kimi.
I mean, Kimi could go gold. Like we don't know, right? Because
right.
I feel like this is the good flex. I feel like Kimi flex gold admit is still possible. I don't know about this Arlott because I don't know how much practice time does Ashley have. So personally for me, I'm still assuming this Arlott is going over to the EXP. Now GG, they are betting out that Granger. I'm really looking at heroes like the Moskov for GG to actually deal with the composition that Navi MY has, but not entirely sure what their comfort is. So Irithel gets banned out.
So with this, GG has the option to go like Moskov, Bruno even could be. Although it's gonna be hard if you're up against a Farsa in terms of mobility, but Kari could be one so that you can do those dashes. So GG could actually limit more in terms of the EXP lane. So they ban out the Phovius for this game, and with that, they are somehow forcing Badang to be the EXP lane and have
or let them take Lapu Lapu.
Yep.
Yeah, because I kind of feel like Badang, Roman, and Lapu Lapu EXP is actually quite good for Navi MY.
Yeah, definitely. But then they picked up the 1-1 instead for their goal lane, huh?
Okay. Clever. Banning out the Irithel. Clever, yeah. Not gonna lie, I forgot about the 1-1. Not gonna lie.
Okay. We almost not see 1-1 because of the bans also from the other days.
I think we have seen 1-1 getting through like 2 or 3 times only, and after that we keep on seeing 1-1 being taken out all the times to deny the entrance of 1-1 inside the draft wise. But then again, right here, I do feel like yes, damage wise, Navi has the opportunity, but is it enough though?
Possible for Navi MY as long as GG doesn't get the Akai. I mean, this is the best way to pull off that Akai Arlot combo against a 1-1 and even Lancelot. I'm just not sure if they're really confident on pulling that off, but it's gonna be Mathilda and Bruno. Okay, just when we said that it's hard to have a Bruno against a Farsa that could potentially just rotate on the lane, but you you have the Mathilda, so in terms of escaping, it will be a lot easier for GG. But the strength of GG here is literally the Mathilda and Kimi because of the fast clearing of minion wave, so they could just go in the EXP lane and have, if it's gonna be Badang on the EXP lane, to be at a difficult situation.
At this point, I kind of feel like GG, they're really trying to win the mid lane. And I kind of feel if they're able to kill a Farsa or whoever their roamer is before the turtle starts, I think a very big snowball will start to ensue, because we saw in the previous game, they controlled the jungle very well. They might do the same. I was thinking of the Lapu Lapu, but looks like they are going to pick up that glue. So going up against Badang, Farsa, and Lancelot in mid is going to be a challenge for Gaming Gladiators. Thank you very much, Fasha Bunny, as well as Chantel. Looking at the draft here, I actually feel like both teams are able to get a very good draft. So now I'm going to be giving it over to Naisu as well as Mirko to call for the second game. We'll see whether, Navi can actually win it back, or they got to return the favor and lose 0-2.
And we will find that out here in just a second. Once again, it's me, Naisu, joined here with Mirko to bring you game number 2 in this best of 3. A very dominant game 1 that we just saw from Gaming Gladiators, 11.5 or so minutes, much faster than they felt the defeat before. Mirko, what do you think of the drafts here? They're both, I agree with Lufel, they're both pretty good.
I agree too. I mean, there are winning conditions, solid ones for both the compositions, right? The 1-1 though, it's picked up, and it really comes down to how good Bafao can be on the 1-1. Because up against Panda, here on the Bruno, this is much more of a safe weak side pick than it is a way to beat 1-1.
Yeah, I think that's always the difficult thing when a 1-1 comes into play is, getting the marks off and then getting the crossbow tank, finding the right moments to be able to do that too. And you do have a lineup that can actually snowball pretty quickly, I feel like, because of what they drafted. And we know Glue has actually done really well too, to be that front line, obviously, to bring back members. You can see Arya dealing with that bullying that we usually see from a Glue in that XP lane. Yeah. But that's an interesting thing, man.
Absolutely. I think it's a very weird start to the game already. Level 1, you try to go for the fight against the Glue. You can see Arya struggle, almost a solo kill. You gotta usually ignore the Glue level 1.
Let him be.
He's too strong level 1, especially on an Arla. You're online level 2 once you can get some more resets on the Vengeance.
Yeah, so she's gonna go. Oh, I thought she was gonna go back actually, but I guess she got the call that, hey, Ashley is here, Sayori too. Maybe they can get something to go, but I just think you don't want to play too low health this early on, especially with a Lancelot across from you. So you see Rena, she's got that level 4 now, but still, I guess utility-wise, when you look at GG's lineup, it's great in the sense that they've got a lot of options to escape, but also engage the fights, and that might be crucial in, again, timing. Now, they showcased it here mid lane.
Whoa, good gank over to Hani. Gets her low, doesn't really bait any resources, but what's great is they relieve pressure off of Arya. They forced Navi Malaysia to look for the response in the mid lane, and now Arya's back in lane. Should be able to set up faster than Sha. Again, Sha rotated to mid, but she's not level 4 just yet. There you go. Now she gets 4, and Arya's not 4.
Arya's so close too. A final slash would be so good here if she had it.
Yeah, but I guess she's just going to be relying on the resets from the rest of the team. Nikolai walks out, is giving the mount down already over to Arya. Nikolai with the cancel, jumps in with a taunt as well. Unable to find... Rena goes in and actually still wins out the red tree. I thought it was a mistake going for the Phantom Execution to escape, but hey, a win's a win. Turtle 1 over to Navi.
She made it work. I thought she was going to get pushed out from the vicinity of that turtle, but she goes back, gets it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting that they weren't able to capitalize on that, but still, no first blood just yet. A lot of early poking happening between both teams, but essentially both these lineups really rely on those level 4s for both of them. Oh, look at this Glue. Little shot. Yeah, splits. This is, Arya's... I would say what does the Arlot really need to win this matchup against a Glue?
It's really not about the win, it's just you trying to rotate faster. Ani pops in for the airstrike. Good response from Remen. to help her there. But yeah, for the Arlet in this lane, you're mostly just looking for the clear and to rotate to your team. You're just playing for the Fredrin.
Just play for that, and I guess that's why the Matilda works so great here too, for the Fredrin. Because essentially, man, we could even see it, depending on how this game goes forward, Nicolette could face the same fate we saw Rina on the box to the previous game. You know, she could end up being delayed too much, but if you throw in a Matilda in there, it helps you kind of move around the map a little bit better, also kind of engage or disengage if you have to. And nonetheless, when the objectives comes up, you're still, you know, that tanky hero that we're used to seeing with the Fredrin, but you get some added bonus with the utility. Now the Bruno too for Panda I think is a big thing because let's jump into this.
Good guiding win, but now keeps the mount down. Good pin as well with the fist crack. Now Nicolette still able to dash away. Sayori pushes on those laser beams. The Worldie slowly but surely chunking those HP bars low as Sayori continues to zone in the mid lane.
And she's gonna do work. Arya might just try to force, I guess, Rina off of this. Try to slow them down. Do they put pressure on the orange buff? It looks like they don't, but the turtle is up. Nicolette's still on the bottom side of the map, so we'll see how they respond to this. A couple of the ultimates already down though here too.
Big resources down, and they're still looking to contest for the neutral objective. Mid lane for the airstrike. Use up Sayori taking low flicker as well. Committed down by Hani. Not too sure about that now. The circling eagle able to go for the knock up to the back. Arya now looking for a final slash. Able to bring him back into the traction pulse. All the free hits for Sayori. First blood in 4 minutes. That's a mount down onto Arya as Rina picks up the kill on Nicolette. Arya forces the flicker out as Rina jumps back in, but a guiding win from Ashley plus the flicker gets Arya back to safety.
It was looking so good, I would say, for GG. I mean, a great layering of the ultimates, but then Navi MWI knew that, hey, we've got Shaw here. She can tank up quite a bit of damage, and then Rina came in at the right time too to capitalize on cleaning up some of the health bars and getting some of the kills there. But objective now in the hands, second one for Navi MWI. Definitely a better start for them, but GG still keeping things kind of under control. We're not seeing a big gold gap or deficit that they really have to work for. There is starting to be a little bit of a deficit between the junglers, like we mentioned. Rina level 9, Nicolette level 7. And so Navi MWI, if they want to transition the game plan of let's keep pressuring Nicolette, let's keep pressuring the side of the jungle if we can, then they build up on that advantage, and that might be what they look for here. Hani does pick up a glowing wand, so she's got that. She's been very, you know, happy on the feathered airstrikes, man. She's been popping those off really early on, but I think maybe that's what you want to do, at least in this situation, where you just kind of let those feathered airstrikes go, knock some of the health bars down. I think you have to put pressure on Sayori too. She's been kind of free hitting for a lot of these skirmishes early on.
I agree. I think the big also ways that Navi have been able to turn the tides around in the team fights has been through Shaw. Like just getting the mount down there and having Navi Malaysia basically have free hits on him, isolating that target has been massive for Navi. And for GG, I guess at this point, they got to choose. Either they put respect on the glue by playing it a bit more, you know, they play it with more kiting, right? They just go back and forth. Or they commit all the way and just try to win out before the glue can actually have a say in the fight.
Shaw's already so tanky. I mean, just early on. They are going to get a turret, though. It's going to be a trade across the map as Arena gets the tier 1 up top. So a little bit of trade here happening, but all set up. We're 20 seconds away from that turtle. So we're going to have to see Navi MWI get in position. Actually, half health, taking a couple shots. Has to respect that damage. And again, this might be a standoff, but look at the push happening, too, from Fafao. Still up top. She might get a little bit of damage on that tier 2. Not sure how they want to play this. It looks like they want to pressure this out, especially with Raymond having that flicker. Shaw, though.
Yeah, they're going to go all in onto Shaw. Final slash as well. But the meltdown comes in, just barely able to flicker out the worldie. Fade away. Nicolette gets out as well. But look at Fafao utilizing that skirmish as a distraction to claim a structure up top for free. It'll be traded with a turtle. But at this point, I think the tier 2 is a bit more worth it.
Yeah, that's going to open things up. She's just a couple hits away from getting it. Nicolette will get the turtle. I wonder if they want to continue fighting. Some big items being picked up here too. Across the side, Berserker's Fury for Panda. You got the Flask of the Oasis now for Ashley online. That turret finally goes down here. So Navi MWI, Mirko, they're playing for the macro here. That's the advantage they want leading into that Lord when it does come up in about a minute and a half.
You really wouldn't expect that, honestly, right? If you look at Navi Malaysia's composition, it really looks like more of a team fight comp, especially with the Wan. But they've done things really well. Gotta give them props. Now, Melfic gun done as well for Fafao. Big power spike here.
How good is that for the Wan?
It's really good, dude. I mean, again, the limitations for the Wan, the restrictions usually is the fact that you just have pretty bad range.
Yeah.
You get outranged by a lot of heroes, and then by the time you get close, you get CC locked. Your skill 2 gets baited out as well by, again, the amount of CC Gaimin has. So having that means that you can shoot, you can get the crossbow attack online much earlier. Feather airstrike over to Sayori. 2 shots landing, 3 on Ashley. The turret up top, traction pulse. Oh! Final slash landing, but it's only it's Remen. Gets a pin down in the back now as Fafa looks for the crossbow tank and won't be able to find it. On one member, Arya will have the crossbow tank popped on her. Translating over to Nicolette now as Fafa has to respect the damage from Panda. So much coming down, but it will just be a 1-for-1 roll for XP.
Trading each other here. Still, the focus is mid lane. They might be able to go ahead and get a little bit extra damage, but Sha.
Massive mount onto Panda, flicker out already, and now Sha finds herself in a tough spot. 1v4, no one's there to follow it up though. Slight tackle in Nicolette, looking for the chase.
This is what Glue does.
They're hesitant for some reason, but finally they decide, no, she's alone. Sha gets away in the end. The hesitation killed Gaimin Gladiators.
I don't know why there was the hesitation,
They
but
thought it was a bait or something.
I guess so. And that's what Glue does. How many times have we seen the Glue do something like that? 1v3, 1v4, and still survive to tell the tale. So a big moment there to happen. The Lord is up. Hani gets a Divine Glaive. We've already seen how much damage Hani's able to do. Now you have a Divine Glaive. You have that magic penetration to help you out. As I say it, you can see the damage charts. They are unreal. We're going to look at the instant replay once again. Shot 1v4. They could have committed to this, I think, you know, maybe capitalize on the kill, but even Nicolette, she thought maybe that they were going to actually get it, but they don't. So Shot, once again, proving that this Glue is a huge value pick for Navi MY right now. But the Lord is up. We'll see how they play this out. We still have the junglers going to go ahead and focus on getting prepared for this.
Ooh, Remen. Fist crack, lock in Sayori. Let's give it the all in with the final slash as well. Sayori kiting back, but will be taken down inevitably here. Mounted up as well. Rina doing work in the mid lane, getting the assassination onto Arya, and now straight to the neutral objective. Navi, they're back in game 2.
I think Navi is the, you know, they're seeing the hesitation, they're seeing some of the mistakes that GG are making, they're punishing it, and they're capitalizing on that. Because even there, Gaimin Gladiators, I feel like, didn't know, like, should we... Like, some of them went back to base, some of them were there around that side of the jungle, and they go back here. They'll have to find a defense now. You're looking at the items breakdown, at least for the gold lane, neck and neck in terms of items and gold. But again, a big disparity still between the jungle. And that's the biggest thing. When you are a utility jungler, we talked about this in game 1. You know, but it was flip-flopped here. What do you have to do? Now, Fred is still essentially that front line that can tank things up. You, of course, have that crowd control in the kit that works for you, too. And that might be the thing here. She picks up a Radiant Armor, got a little bit more defensive for this magic damage that is just coming out from Navi MY, and it's a lot to handle for them.
Yeah, I mean, wait, Remen, it's caught by the immobilization. Still able to find an angle to rotate back into the mid lane, and Navi continue to siege down. Holy defense. Oh, good rotation, or good hold by Nicolette in the mid lane. Stopping the Holy Defense from being taken, but still bottom. Holy Defense was popped in. Now Lord up top will be able to get a charge down. They should be able to deal with this. Yep. It's going to be a turret take. But nice. So I think at this point, Gaimin needs to understand their composition is all about longer team fights. They'll have so many more ways to dish out damage in a long team fight. Navi, they're kind of like a big smack up front, and then they have to back away right off of the cooldowns.
Yeah, literally, right when that Feathered Airstrike is expended, you lose a big part of the damage. But then even the Crossbow Tang, if they can just wait for it, I think, again, as the game goes forward, that's why I want to see these lineups work in a longer game. Maybe we do get a chance to get to, what, the 18-minute mark plus, and then we get to see both of the compositions shine, because right now, like you mentioned for Gaimin Gladiators, they don't have that ability, I feel like, to drag those fights out. At least it seems like that, just because of how they're getting picked apart. Now, Wind of Nature picked up for Panda. That might be the name of the game. Pick up those defensive items. Get to that point where you can withstand that initial window of burst that comes from the lineup from Navi MY. You can see that too. Winter Crown available for Hani. So Hani has been really good so far in this game. I know she doesn't have crazy kills or anything like that on the far side, but really that's not her job. She drops down the Feathered Airstrike, gets people to, what, half health even, and then you have Rina or Fafao to come up and clean up. So we'll see it once again. It's Game Gladiators. You know, the aggression here.
Pick up attempt over to Redmond, but they're split up now. Nicolette is all alone. Crossbow Tang ready with the airstrike as well. Papa Inspire Crossbow Tang. Now Panda tanks it up with the wind of nature, but finds herself in a tough spot. Rina gets the assassination. Arya's next on the chopping block as Rina claims a double. So Yori and Ashley left to defend 14 seconds on the neutral objective, but Na'Vi, they want to end the game. They want to force a third game in the series.
They might be able to here. It's Sayori only here with Ashley. They go in.
But certainly Eagle. Now the Predator airstrike has zoned him in the back. Now Remen, very low. Puncture over from Rina. Goes straight into the mid lane. Sayori doing her best to clear out the waves. 3 seconds on Nicolette now as Remen walks back up. That's going to be the guiding win onto the front. So the minions don't get in. And it's a good play to save the game, or rather, to extend it.
Extend it. That's what they needed. They needed to buy time here. GG is still in it, but the Lord is going to be focused down and take down Navi MY.
They got to go.
It looks like GG might want to contest this. They go in, Nicolette.
They got to gamble on this. Feather airstrike landing on Panda. That's going to be the Phantom execution as well. Lord not taken just yet, and Navi
Oh, this is risky.
have been forced back. Now GG, it's their time to control the tempo. Yes, they're one man down, but they got to force something out while Navi are low, while these big resources are on cooldown.
Oh, again, it's going to go for a little bit of a reset. The rest of the team is making their way back to the Lord pick here. And Ashley trying to join this fight. They get control. Navi MY.
Final slash over to Pop Out. That's even the second skill baited out. Feather airstrike. Nicolette finding herself almost taken down. Has the guiding wind to save her, but that means there's no jungler to look for the retreat, to look for the neutral objective, and Rina claims it for free.
Navi MY played that so well. It was a pendulum basically for that Lord swinging back and forth, and unfortunate for GG, they just didn't have the firepower to withstand, or even the defensive items to withstand the initiations or the poking from Navi MY. So they find themselves once again on the defense here. This might be a position for them to work with the lineup that they have, because of the last couple fights, man, haven't been good. I mean, it's clear that there is a different idea happening, because we've seen now 2 major team fights where one side of the team is on another place, and then you have a couple from GG on another. So we'll see how they play out this defense.
Rina
Takes a couple shots. Lord's going to be worked on here.
Thorn Rose baited out. Now Lord in the mid lane for the airstrike as well. Panda able to go for side tackle. Arya went for the cancel, but wasn't able to find it in the end. Let's see Panda kiting back. Fist strike coming out as well. The base wide open. They're going to go for it. Pop, pop, pops the Inspire and secures the game. You see thumbs down there. Some emotes from the ladies. This is getting hot.
It's getting close. We wouldn't have it any other way. This is a crucial, crucial game for all the matches today. We want game 3, and Navi MY made sure we're going to get that.
So far, Naisu, this series has all been about speed.
Speed.
Whoever gets the snowball first, whoever is able to push in the game and control the pace has really been able to take over.
They have, and I think this sets it up for an amazing game 3 ahead of us, man. I don't know who's going to come out with more speed for game 3, but
I don't know.
Either way, maybe game 3 is where we think about the junglers.
Yeah.
Are they going to match up
And
with
the gold
speed
lane, man.
Yeah.
Panda does well on Granger.
That's true.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Don't fix it. Studio, we're going to have to go ahead and throw it over to you guys to see what you guys think about the speed of this game 2.
Yeah.
Yeehaw indeed. Like you guys said, speed kills. The question is, kills who? Because so far we've seen whenever the jungler gets an assassin, namely the Lancelot, the entire team gets this kind of confidence. But when you have this utility jungler, everyone starts slowing down.
Yeah, and it's very evident on this game. I think there were a lot of moments that wherein Rina was able to secure a kill. Like this, for example, when she had a double kill, when in fact Gaimin Gladiators still need to position themselves before going to a counter engage. So it's just Rina puncturing all throughout the players of GG, and you also have supplementary damage and even supplementary crowd control and all those layering of skills from Navi MY. And I gotta say, I'll be honest, both teams played really well and smart for game number 2, that we actually saw moments wherein they're forcing each other to commit mistakes.
I mean, again, back to the speed topic we're talking, right? The fact that we were holding on to the hope that maybe Gaming Gladiators, if they will be able to go for the late game itself, getting all the powers they need, they could spike out a different path for the game itself. But it didn't happen here because Navi MY keep pushing and pushing forward to a point that Gaming Gladiators couldn't do anything.
If I can highlight one player, I got to talk about Raimundo or Remen, because that Badang really cancels out any kind of ideas that Gaming Gladiator really has, because it's either the fist break or the fist cry, but either way, the displacement, the mini stuns, it really did affect them, because we saw there were moments that they wanted to try something, but Raimundo's like, I'm one person, I'm stopping 4 of you.
Yeah, agree. And if you look at the mobility of Gaming Gladiators, it's just the Matilda that actually speed them up. I think we saw play from Raimundo at the bottom lane earlier, wherein majority of the Gaming Gladiators just want to position themselves to the usual pathing that they do. But the Navi MY, they saw the opportunity right at that moment. That's why they were able to somehow set up a play for them. And we could see actually that all throughout the game, you even have Sha up front. But early parts of the game, it was actually Sayori that has the highlight. I think there were moments wherein Navi MY wants to set up a play at the middle lane, but because of her early damage, they were stopped.
I mean, Sha, give a little bit more time for her, right? The fact that 4 players was just chasing after Sha constantly to a point that she still survived. She was able to get away, just a little lifeline for herself, and yet they couldn't do. And this is where the fine line, we know for a fact, Sha is just too comfortable when having that glue on her hand.
Yeah, using the spread hitting onto 3 people, making the immobilized unable to catch, that's really key. And honestly, looking at the game, I think we all agree that both teams play very smart.
Yep.
And you can play very smart when you have a lot of time. So I really feel like a burst is actually more valuable in this best of 3 compared to DPS, damage per second, because we saw the Lancelot, we saw the Farsa. These are the kind of heroes that can eliminate you before you can actually do something else. And I kind of feel like that's one of the keys that we have to look for game number 3, is that eliminate this person before he or she is able to outplay you.
Yeah, good point, because there were moments in the game wherein Hani was just like finding Sayori in the middle of the team fight, and then if they already see Sayori mispositioned, then they go and engage, and you have this Lancelot just doing a signature move up against the players of Gaming Gladiators, plus the crowd control. So kind of feel like for your Gaming Gladiators, some points of the game, so some parts of the game, they know what to do.
Yeah.
But because of the chaotic force that Navi MY has, it was very difficult for them.
Since Fasha want to talk about Sha, we got a head-to-head here between the EXP laners, and honestly, Sha is a big... The front lines, Raimundo and Sha, they're big disruptors for Gaming Gladiators.
I mean, talking about how she was just giving her body right on the front line, making sure that nobody will be able to break through to the front line of the team itself. That's how Navi MI was able to get away with every position or even every threat that was thrown out by the team of Gaming Gladiator itself. I mean, they did manage to actually go in. This is the moment where they actually try to pull through the players of Team Gaming Gladiator and then come in Raimundo straight away with a fist break to a point that they couldn't actually get away from the team of Navi MY.
I kind of feel like also the difference as to how Sha and Arya played, it boils down to the hero composition also of their team. Because for Sha, it was a lot easier to set up a play or be up front because you also have an added layer of crowd control from Raimundo's hero as compared to Gaming Gladiators. The next crowd control that they will have is going to be the energy eruption or even the guiding winds from the Matilda, and it's not really that efficient if you have heroes from a Navi MY that is more on the aggressive type.
And now we see Hani having the most amount of damage. That's 3,522 damage per minute. And I believe that most of it is just for zoning Gaming Gladiators away. And I kind of feel like this is a smart way to play, just to make sure that they don't have forward momentum so that they are not the first to arrive around Turtle, around Lords, and everything like that. Really giving a lot of time for Navi MY to set things up. Now, before the game started, Ivan said, like, give Rina an assassin and they can win. So that's correct. So maybe this time, both junglers will have assassins.
Possibility, or else they want to actually try to turn things around or try to define that issue, right? Because the fact is, we want to make sure that either you are giving allowance to that or are you going to deny it immediately?
yeah, now we got to look a little bit deeper into both teams to really see how they compare amongst each other here, because we're going to be looking at Navi MY as well as Gaimin Gladiators. Very interesting enough here, if we're looking at the players, it does look like Gaimin Gladiators have that advantage, but if we're looking at the objectives, Navi MY has that covered.
Yeah, we could see that in terms of average Lord Slain, it is actually Navi MY that is on the upper hand in terms of GG. So we could say that there is a possibility for GG to have a fallout in terms of decision making on longer games, which we actually saw during that game, because game number 1 was really fast for GG, and for Navi MY, they're just continuing that momentum, starting the game and even on the latter portions of the game. So I feel like for GG, since they have that potential to somehow have difficulties in terms of decision making, then they should go really for the assassin heroes, or probably burst in terms of the mid laners.
I think this is where the fine line we are seeing that the maturity of Navi MY, because we've seen from day number 1, we keep on seeing Navi MY keeps on going in for the diving composition, always trying to go for the harassment, the aggression, and then we talked about that this is going to be a really risky for the side of Navi, because if you keep on pushing on the enemies or you trying to push in on your opponent, people started to read it up and they will try to backstab you or try to counter attack you. But now finally they are trying to actually portray a little bit of priority to the objectives, and this is the one key that turns things around.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you why this matchup is so intense between both teams, because this is for tournament life. They went all 3 games because they know losing means going home. Winning will advance to the quarterfinals, where later on they will be going up against Navi PH. Now that's a difficult match, but we gotta have this mindset one game at a time. And now for both Navi MY as well as Gaimin Gladiators, we went from a best of 3 now to a best of 1. One mistake and then that's it. You go home.
And speaking of mistake, one mistake could be through the draft. So we've been mentioning from the previous days that as much as possible, you want heroes that are more on the flex side. So I think for Gaimin Gladiators, now that they learned again that their hero composition is not as effective as to how they pulled off in game number 1. I mean, they played it against the same team from day 1 of MWI and they lost that game, and they tried it again on a do or die situation. It seems as if for GG, that's it. Let's not try to use it again. But for Navi MY, since they are able to defeat that same lineup again, then they just have to continue giving Rina those assassin heroes, having Hani on the burst. I won't be surprised actually if they pull off another Selena, just for the sake of having that comfort on winning against GG.
I mean, this is really tough because, again, it's all about whether you want to actually go in with the comfort picks that you've already done. And so far, the players of Navi MY is able to play it out into their hands for Team Gaimin Gladiator to fall through. But then again, the question is how much you wanted to deny, because glue was actually already expected, but the first one was been denied completely. That's the reason why Navi MY couldn't get the comfortable rotation that was done before. That's the reason why they actually won against Gaimin Gladiator on the first day. But then they finally go in with the same rotation again.
Now that we've mentioned about the glue, I think the winning condition, or the best thing that the coaches should consider in this game, is whichever EXP lane has the winning matchup, not on the lane, right? The hero up against the other hero composition. I think that's the winning recipe. If the glue was effective against the rest of the players of GG, then that should be also the answer of Coach Rexvin and Coach Midnight against Navi MY.
We definitely have to see, because I feel like it's not really on the heroes, but the sequencing. Because even picking up that Selena, I feel like if Gaimin Gladiators pick up their mid laner early, say they pick up something like a Zithia, like a Farsa, that's immobile when you're using your skills, then they might go for that Selena just to make sure that they're able to pressure whenever the ult has been used. So I kind of feel like that's one of the reasons why they pick up the Kimi first, just to make sure that they don't get into the trap of Selena. Now, Gaimin Gladiators are going to be the first pick. Navi MY will be the second pick. And instantly, the Lancelot is out. Looks like that's the hot pick for this game, and it's instantly out, as well as the Uranus and the Yi Sun Shin. Zetian is not a part of this game, as well as Baxia, and looks like CC. So they're respecting both Sayuri as well as Arya in the first game, and Gaimin Gladiators are really respecting Shah as well as Rina from Navi MY.
This is tough. Definitely, they know that they just don't want to make another mistakes. And like you talked about, Lafel, this is just one more stand or life to go for the team, for both of the team itself. So they're actually trying to hold off as much as possibility. Who are the players? Who are the heroes that can fall into their hands and they can actually counter it off? So far, I do feel that the respect ban is really wise. But who will the team of Gaimin Gladiators actually
I would take
prioritize?
It's up to GG if they want to get Kimi again or the Farsa. But
No,
Granger.
Granger.
I mean, like, even against a counter, you win. But at this point, Navi can take away that Farsa.
yeah. So there's gonna be a trade, right, for GG. So we get the Granger. So Navi will choose either they get the Kimi or the Farsa. But it's definitely gonna be
Farsa
Farsa.
Badang. I think
And don't
Farsa
forget
Badang.
Irrital.
There you go.
Irrital has also still been opened up, so we did saw how that could actually be able to counter off the Granger as well. But
But it
then
didn't
again-
work game number one,
Yeah, it
so
didn't
you
work.
know.
Yeah, it didn't work though.
I'll be honest, Navi MY had a better trade on
I
the
agree.
first round of our pickings. Imagine crowd control and even burst, and that has been the cause of headache for a GG game number two. Now you have the Hayabusa.
Ooh.
Now they have the answer against the Farsa, but it all depends if the early farming would be effective for Nicolette on this game. But they also have the Kadot. It could be a good counter against the Farsa that has the better airstrike, but you don't want the AOG just to zone out alone a Farsa using the ultimate. So this Navi MY, they could get Suyu, okay? So Suyu, just for the sake of having a matchup that is on the assassin side, because for Joy you have to change some of the items, and this has the potential to escape during a team fight.
I don't know. I mean, it's really tough to say though, because I know when it comes to Suyo, yeah, you got a really good high, definitions of the front line. You'll be able to go in with the Kriller and stuff. But then again, I mean, there's a lot more jungler that you can actually pick up right here for the side of Navi. It could be in a little bit of rush on the side. I don't know. Maybe this is just a hot take for me. What do you think, Rafael?
Personally, for me, I feel like both coaches are like, shaking hands, be like, okay, let's just get our comfort, okay? Because Nicolette won the NA qualifiers with that Hayabusa. We saw how amazing Panda is with that Granger. And even you, checking back your notes, GG does use this God Thought a lot. And looking at Navi MY, they pick up the Farsa and the Badang again, which in my opinion is the winning condition from the previous game. And Suyo, the real weakness is that now he doesn't have that magic resist. So if Gaimin Gladiator is able to get a mid laner that can deal a lot of damage very, very fast onto the Suyo, then the Suyo will prove ineffective. But I really feel like at this point, they just want some kind of comfort so that the players, they have a free mind. They don't have the jitters.
Yeah, because it's just like more of a muscle memory in terms of rotation.
Exactly.
They know what to do. They know when and where. So for Navi MY, they will ban out the Kimi, since Sayor had played really well on that previous game. But for GG, they want to limit those XP laners that could be a potential threat against the Granger or even be on par in terms of sustainability. And this Gatot, Phoveus, yeah. Since it's with the Phoveus.
Yeah.
Could be a Ruby also, not sure, against Hayabusa. Just for the mere sake of having crowd control. It's going to be Phoveus, yes. Some people call Sha as the Queen Phoveus because of the performance yesterday.
She's Shavius. Shavius.
Okay, so
At this point, it's like, I think it's safe if you want to pick up that Irita, really hide your EXP laner for last, unless they have something else for gold. Oh, they pick up the Moskov.
They pick up the Moskov for goal. I mean, yeah, considering with the fast pace coming in from the goal laner, I think that Navi MY, they know for a fact they gotta slow things down for a while. This is what they actually achieved from the second game itself. They slow things down and they'll be able to actually pull through with every single rotation or the movement of GG. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. GG itself, Gaimin Gladiator was able to pull through. But then again, the question is, Team GG has a lot of potential to actually invade a lot of that bank line, and that's what I'm worried about when it comes to Navi MY right now.
Looking at the screen, looks like they're very heavy on this mid lane pick. Even the coach is like, Sayer, you can do this. Just pick this here. I feel like they're really discussing this mid.
Oh!
Yeah, no wonder they're really discussing it.
Yeah, because in terms of burst, yes, Lilia, and I really like that.
I actually don't like it.
I like it. Or personal bias probably.
I mean, like, for me, when I use a Lilia, I don't like going up against a Pharsa because my HP is very low.
Right.
And she can burst me and force me to use my black shoes. That's the only thing I don't like. So they really need to win this mid to make sure that Lilia doesn't get punished by this Pharsa.
The only question now for the Lilia is the priority, or in terms of the itemization, is she gonna go for an enchanted talisman first?
I believe so.
Because I don't really see Lilia that effective. If she can't really go on and spam those skills. But you also have the Esmeralda, yes, more on the sustain. But you have the Teresa, which is actually a nice pick for Navi MY. You have short-range heroes. I don't really consider Lilia as a long-range hero. So just with the penalty zone, you can force the usage of the black shoes, and then you can deal damage against the rest.
Honestly, I'm very unsure about this draft, but thank you very much to both our panelists. And now I gotta give it over to Mirko and Naisu, being the last game of this match. Who is gonna get eliminated?
That is a fantastic question there, LaFell, and thank you so much for the panel for breaking down the drafts there. We had the same sentiments here, Mirko. I think these are, I would say, some interesting drafts for Game 3.
Yeah, it depends on how you say interesting as a caster, right? It could be a good interesting, or it could be
5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield.
We're going to find out here once again. Welcome to Land of Dawn, ladies and gentlemen. This matchup here to decide who moves forward and who goes home. It's game number 3 ahead of us. Will it be Gaimin Gladiators or Navi MY? And this is the matchup we were talking about. And what better way to have it than an anime matchup in the jungle? We got the Hayabusa and the Suyo.
The student versus the master, Kakashi versus Sasuke. Yeah, I think for the draft, it's the latter. I think it's the interesting choice for GG. Just because of Lilia, I'm not too big of a fan of that. No one's really, that immobile. This is a very high mobility composition, especially the Suyo. So you're going to have a tough time landing those big damage abilities from Sayori on the Lilia. Well, at least it's great in mid lane clear, right? You should be able to find mid lane prio. But what you use the mid lane prio for is going to be the big question later on. As Ashley goes for the taunt and is unable to get it. You can see, there you go, that mobility. Tivhani just walks, or rather flies away.
I feel like it's going to be a little difficult too for Ashley, honestly, with the Ganakacho roam to go ahead and catch people into those unbreakables. Taking a look at the emblems here real quick too. Of course, that's why she also went pretty tanky on the Ganakacho. She's got the Revitalize to help her. You also have 2 Purifies here. A big part for Nicolette, and this could be even for Rina as well, is if you snowball on one of these junglers, that's going to do great for the team. But later on, you're taking a lot of damage.
But too much. Rina, Queller lands it, but the regen gets Arya. Just a bit more HP to survive, and now it's going to collapse coming in. Sayori walks up as a Blade Surge tap. Rina gets away, and again, what we were talking about, those moves not landing because of those blinks, man. So mobile.
So mobile, and that's what's difficult here. And, other than the wave clear, I think you're just going to need more time for Sayori to really pump out the damage on this Lilia. And it really, when it comes down to it, too, I mean, you're seeing how it doesn't take too much for Navi MY's lineup to put pressure on the lineup of Gaimin Gladiators. This turtle is up here. This is going to be a crucial one to start off the pacing of this early game, as Navi MY already gets control, half health on the turtle.
Good damage. Penalty zone. Sha onto the turtle. Sayori picks up the kill on the turtle. The glues might have worked in their favor this time, and Ani got chomped off as well by those glues.
Sayori heard it. She made it happen. That was the damage that a Lilia can do if you get that opportunity here.
The turtle is immobile. Let's go for the turtle.
If the least mobile is the turtle, go for it. And so they secure an objective, and it's crazy to think that objective plus those couple of kills get them nearly to a 2,000 gold lead to work with. So GG having some of that control. Also, part of this will be, once again, how they scale into this early to mid-game transition. Here's a look once again with the instant replay.
Yeah.
They burn a couple of flickers, and then they just get caught in a bad situation, because even the feathered airstrike was, not enough to pump out the damage, and then you have to cancel it out early, and then Hanny gets caught even after using the flicker there. So good response from GG in that team fight. And with that too, Fao she threw the Spear of Destruction to join the fight, but it just didn't land.
And it's also just a playstyle diff here when you have Panda on the Granger. This is the reason they first picked the Granger, right? One of the things that we did mention in game number 2 as well, the fact that Panda just becomes so much more active on the map. She definitely enables the team way more when she's on a Granger. In the early game, just adding damage. In the late game, being that executor with 50, 60 stacks on the Skypiercer.
Definitely, that's exactly what she wants to replicate from game 1. And that range advantage, I guess if you compare that Granger to the Bruno, for example, in the previous game, it's quite a big difference. And playstyle as well, like you mentioned. So, but still, this is, I think, the highlight for Navi MWI is that mobility that they have here. And they can work around that, especially when they get these, you know, now that they have these level 4s, the battle spells are going to be available for this next turtle. I think they approach this fight in a much different way. As long as Hani can get, Nicolette's just going forward, so she went in, she used the Retribution for that. Turtle's up though here, but I wonder how they play this out. Navi MWI doesn't have the Retribution either, so I think they just see what they can get. Good push up top though. Fafa was able to get probably a good chunk of extra gold for her.
Yeah, it's actually going to be, I think, it might be a turret. No, Panda walks up, clears the cannon, can't really get to the caster minion there, so there will still be a turret traded in for the turtle. SOD does land, but Nicolette is already there, and I don't think Fafa was brave enough to take it unless... No, SOD Shadow has disappeared. Nicolette should be able to take this for free. Neutral objective secure. Turtle number 2. Taken by Gaimin, Gladiators. Down the mid lane they go. Quad Shadow over with a Shadow kill as well, but it actually goes on to Remen. That's an AOG not landing. Hani able to flicker out to safety. And it's just that, turtle for turret.
2 flickers burn though in that pressure put on by GG. And like you mentioned too earlier on, so Skypiercer is now online and available for Panda. She's got that locked in. And this is where Navi MWI wants to make sure that, you know, they don't give these opportunities for that stacks to start building up for Panda, because it's going to be tough to deal with. Now, the pressure that will come through GG's lineup now at this point in the game, they hold up as you see Panda rotate down towards Fafao. Actually, another flicker burn.
3 flickers down.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of just getting that resource down alone, Mirko.
And that will really benefit Sayori. We've been talking about how mobility is crucial for Navi Malaysia to outplay Gaimin Gladiators. The fact that now they won't have 3 flickers means that Sayori is going to land more and more moves. Good SOD landing. Instant revitalize from Ashley, respecting the damage that couldn't come through from Fafao. But the poke is right there from Panda, still coming out. Hani rotating bot, and GG go back mid. Clean Gaimin.
Yeah, it looks like they're, you know, trying to find these windows of opportunity. Ashley having the Avatar, the Guardian available, can usually jump into those turrets if they want to, but they didn't have the wave pressure either, so they've got to manage that. Navi MWI just stopping things from getting too out of hand. So we're going to take a little breather here in this one while our players, of course, get things situated. But again, it's a small lead, you know, well, 2,000 or so for GG right now to work with. We're 6.5 minutes in, as you can see this, and, you know, this is a 1-for-1. This is game 3 here for both these teams. I think when we really look at this, though, Mirko, what is that power spike for Navi MWI to showcase here, to show up? Because as mobile as they are, it seems like they're kind of just lacking maybe a little bit in terms of the fighting power that they have against the lineup that GG has.
I think the main win condition was definitely win out Turtle 1, grab a snowball from the start of the game, and see who's faster, right? See if they can catch the speed. And Navi Malaysia, they weren't able to do it. The penalty zone was off by Shah, wasn't able to set up for a proper red tree for Rina, and that really costed them. Now their main win condition is down, so this is, I guess, the reason they went Moscow. In case plan A doesn't work, which again is the snowball, they still have Fafa who scales pretty well. What? It's an awkward fist crack. Arya just goes to the Purify and gets out, gets a few shots of the Feather Airstrike, but she can take it.
A little bit of a push up top for Nicolette. I don't think she gets any hits herself. Arya with a sliver of health. Going to be able to survive. Looks like the focus. They might make a play under the turret.
Yeah, Nicolette jumps in into shadow kill. Ashley walks up with a taunt as well. Just locking her down as AOG comes in to bait out Shaw's flicker. Fafao gets the turret down below. So they have plan B in action. Golden Staff already. But it's looking like plan A is falling a bit too far behind.
Ashley planted herself right there, right in front of Arena. That's going to be a turtle secured. Shaw takes a couple hits. Gonna go in and redo.
I don't know about that, Rena.
This is tough.
Was it the Blade Surge? Luckily, there's no one there to follow it up. But that was an ambitious blade surge down in the bottom lane. Sayori with the glooms, forcing Fafao back. 3 flickers, back up, Naisu.
They've got these, they're trying to hold on to this turret. I mean, Panda has been here for quite some time. Sayori will hold them. Feathered Airstrike going to be dropped down. They just want this turret. Black Shoes.
Massive fist crack with the pin down, but there's no one to follow it up. Now penalty zone! And the SOD lands flush on Sayori. She couldn't survive that one as Aria continues to run away here. There's not much they can do. Back Nicolette with the shadow kill in the back of the quad channel landing too. Rina going to be falling as Panda picks up a kill. Threading the needle to get a death sonata.
Just when you thought that was Navi MY's fight, GG comes in to save the day. Oh, hold on. AOG.
Flickers out for Hani. And that will be a tier 2 in the mid lane. A massive lead. 6,000 for GG.
What just happened to the gold lane? I mean, this is ballooned in the last, couple minutes here. We got back into the game. We're going to take a look at the instant replay. Once again, Feathered Airstrike was dropped down, and Raymond goes in for this. The Revitalize helps extend this fight. And you think it's over from here, like Arya's just going to be taken down, but then right at the right time, Nicolette gets the call and goes forward with that shadow kill. Panda to support her too. Rhapsody shots were on point, so great layering of everyone in that fight.
After this, Naisu, I just don't want to see Nicolette on utility junglers anymore. Lancelot work, Hayabusa work. Oh, solo kill in the bottom lane! Right as we call it, Nicolette, a lethal assassin in game 3.
I know what you want to see though. You want to see Panda on the Granger some more.
Oh yeah, for sure. Panda needs to stick on Granger, Nicolette on assassins, and then the rest, do your thing, you know?
Do your thing. Navi MY, despite facing a 7,000 gold deficit, seems like they still want to go ahead and find some of these fights. They're going to have to give up this Lord, of course, and get ready for a base defense. But you know what we haven't seen just yet is really a valuable penalty zone. If Shaw can actually get a penalty zone in the base defense to help things up, maybe that will set up Hani to drop the Feathered Airstrike a little bit more. That might be what they need.
At this point, it has to be Remen to set it up first, because the penalty zone, you can react on the penalty zone, right? The quad shadow can still come out for Nicolette, but no one can react to a fist crack, to a flicker pin down from the Vadam.
Yeah.
So it comes down to Remen. Is she able to find these prio picks? And I think right now, the prio pick, it's tough to get the prio picks because it's Nicolette and Panda. Sayori has Purify in the black shoes. Arya has Purify too. You need to find a way to get both Panda and Nicolette. And that's tough. They're both going to be split up, right? Nicolette's looking for flanks. Panda's playing so far back.
Yeah, this is going to be a difficult one to defend against, but maybe Navi MY can go ahead and pull it off. Again, they're facing down quite a disparity in terms of itemization, so the waves will push in down on the bottom side with the Lord. And we'll see how Gaimin Gladiators decide to assault the base of Navi MY here. They take a couple shots with the Death Sonata.
Ooh, shadow kill in the back. Hani able to flicker out to safety now. Navi on their last legs. No flicker for Hani. Has it for the airstrike. Lord still very healthy in the bottom lane as Sayori continues to push on the pace with the gloom. After able to taunt. On to the back. Remen doesn't have an angle to attack. Now the Blade Surge used up, and also the Soul Sever to clear out the Lord as Nicolette goes up the Shuriken one more time for their airstrike into the mid lane. But AOG into the back, locks her down, cancels it out. It's a big fist track over in front, but there's no one to follow it up as Nicolette goes back in with the Shuriken again, and Panda gets the execution. GG!
Can they end it?
Can they do it? Slowly but surely, chucking HP bars low. Arya taking a bit too many shots from the turret. Remen goes and gets taken down. The SOD from Fafao gets Hanavi MY another chance to come back in this game.
Navi MY will stop Gaimin Gladiators from ending the series there. It looked so close, but yet it was so far. A great defense from Navi MY to play around, clearing the minions to keep them at bay, but then also staying into the fight. Looking at the instant replay here, Ashley jumped into backside to put pressure on Hani, but also the team was cut off from Raymond, so it was really good setups from both sides. But then even so, the waves were cleared out. They didn't have any waves pushing into this fight. And then that Spear of Destruction that comes forward, forcing this response from Panda. A great decision there from Navi MY.
It's always the Malaysian teams, man.
It's always
have a gold laner Moskov that can turn things around, man. I got innocent flashbacks right there. Happened just last M series. Oh, good pick. Great shutdown. But still, It's a big, big win for GG. Yes, Na'Vi have now gotten another shot at taking or making a full comeback, but it was still two big basers, Naisu.
Yeah.
We're still on track for a GG win.
Gaimin Gladiators still has a healthy lead right now at this point, and they have control of this portion of the map to go ahead and secure themselves this Lord. We'll see if Shaw can give the information, if there's going to be a response. She gets whittled down quite a bit from Rhapsody shots, plus the Glooms and Arya trying to do her best to keep them. Bea, jump in.
AOG locks in Rina, that's giving it to Ton as well. Three-man pin down from Remen! Hani gets away with Wings by Wings as Arya dishes out damage. No Panda to fight. The Lord reset, and Fafao is getting a lot of value up top. GG. The pressure is starting to hurt them bad.
That penalty zone, man. Able to catch out Panda. Panda still had Flicker. She wasn't able to go ahead and get out of that danger penalty zone. The danger zone is true there. Nicolette. Oh, Nicolette. Okay. The Lord is up. They want to fight for control here. And as you mentioned, this is always the thing with Moscow. The lane pressure, the cross-map pressure you can have is insane. They're going to start the Lord. Wait. Health here.
Nicolette has the quad shadow, goes back in now. Give the pin down and the shadow kill over. Sayuri picks up the kill now. Retribution, Rina secures it for the team. Penalty zone not landing as Ashe goes in for the AOG, and Sayuri continues with the Glooms. That's a Blade Surge tap as Shaw gets dealt with by the rest. Sayuri with the shut, or with the cut down onto the side as Rina goes into Blade Surge again. Sayuri with the Glooms just eating up. Hani gets taken down, and the black shoes ensures Sayuri's safety. Remen jumping back, Lord spawning, but it's on the wrong lane.
Oh, what can Rina do? And Raymond here.
It's a desperate attempt to save the game. GG! With one Cannon in the mid lane, get their revenge and make it to the quarterfinals of MWI.
You can see the excitement here from Gaimin Gladiators.